So I started out in 1980 as a runner at Chicago Board of Trade. And I did what a lot of people did. I started as a runner, worked my way up to a phone clerk. Thought I was going to be this big-time trader that was going to make all kinds of millions of dollars. And I found out right away that I was the world's worst trader. I lost money every time I traded. I tried, but sales was going to be my next step. So I went into sales, and it's probably the best move I ever made and got done with the whole trading aspect of my life. But I was on the floor at the Board of Trade doing institutional sales and networked and met a lot of people throughout the industry, from Chicago to New York, London, you name it. And I would cover them day to day on the floor at the Board of Trade. And 20 years I spent on the floor at the board. And then I got into the electronic side of things, and I started with a company called Pat Systems. And sure, everybody thought that I owned Pat Systems because it was named after me, but it wasn't. It was Professional Automated Trading Systems. And they were one of the first ISVs, independent software vendors, to start really in the industry. And they're a public company, and they really did well in the very beginning. And then a lot of other companies came, and we had a lot of competition there. But for 10 years with Pat Systems, I did more the whole sales thing. I started as account manager and then went more into global sales. And then I ran sales for North America and South America for Pat Systems. And then in 2010, I left and went to CQG, where I've been for 7 years. So that's 37 years, and I'm 24 years old. So I said I was a bad trader, right? I can't add. No. That was my joke. Come on. Through that whole career of 37 years, you meet, make relationships, you network. All the business relationships that I made in 37 years of things changing, one thing that doesn't change is that meeting someone is going to be someone that you're going to know for a long time. Day to day, when I go on trips, go into a trading room, and there'll be a guy that says, "Don't I know you from the Board of Trade from the floor?" Like he's talking about, 25, 30 years ago. And I'm saying, yeah, that's me. And right away you have an instant entry into that room that you have a friend almost right off the bat. So you never know who you might be sitting next to right now. Might be someone that you're going to run into 20, 25 years from now, and might have a big job, and that might be that person that gives you the break that you need or sign that deal. And so keep that in mind as you're sitting there today. The most important element of relationships is trust. And trust has changed over the past number of years, because in the technology end of it, you're now trusting, you have to trust that technology when you think about trading remotely all over the world and everything. You're trusting the technology. You're not trusting the person. You're not looking across the pit and doing that trade with that guy and saying, okay, I just sold you 10 and he says yes. And if you, the next day, decline that trade, no one trades with you for the rest of your life. It's different now. You have to put that trust in technology. And when you talk about trust, I'm going to go into leadership too, but trust, if I do this right, John. When we talk about trust, I think there's 6 steps to building trust. And the first one is to be honest. Tell the truth. If your software doesn't do what that other guy's software, bar chart or TT or anybody else, tell them it doesn't do it. But then tell them what your software does do and how it does it better. 2, use good judgment. If it feels wrong, don't do it. Only you'll know when it's wrong and when it's right. You know that now. But if it's something good and you want to tell somebody something, say it. But you're going to know when it's right and when it's wrong. Be consistent. Show up on time to your job. Do your work, and honor the commitments that you set out for yourself. Practice good nonverbal communications. And the last one there, put away your phones. I mean, it's amazing how many meetings I'll sit in and somebody's playing on their phone, doing an email. It's almost disrespectful, really, I think, more than anything else. But learn that right off the bat, to put your phone away. Look somebody in the eye. Sit up straight and pay attention. And 5, have a mutual beneficial attitude. It shouldn't be about an agenda that you have and about yourself, me. It should be about we and how we can make a deal together and what we can do together as a customer. 5, have a mutually beneficial attitude. Well, pardon me, that was that. 6, when you're the leader, you got to ask the hard questions. Build up those around you. You see it now. Good leaders build even better leaders. The whole leadership framework has changed dramatically now over the last number of years, where originally it was a vertical, right? The boss, the leader was on top. He had the corner office. He had all the power. Today, the leadership is more vertical. There might be 4 people sitting there at in a lunchroom with dressed casually, but those are the head guys of every part of that company, and they're working together. They trust each other. They've built this huge. You see it happen around you now. I'm very envious of it. You know, I haven't been able to be in that kind of a company in my career in 37 years, but I think that it's something now that as you're seeing. It's just an easier place to work. When you can trust everybody around you and your company has that reputation of being a trusted company, you can go anywhere. Because, you know, people are going to come and go. A sales guy is going to come and go. I have a good story about that. But if you have that trust, you have that reputation, no matter where you go, even as a salesman, if I go somewhere else, I'm going to probably take the business with me. One of the best stories, when I left Pat Systems and went to CQG, and John knows this, there was Joe Guinan, he spoke this morning, and his daughter was here, died. Joe said, I didn't do business with Pat Systems, I did business with Pat Kenny. And, you know, he meant it. And I had a couple other people say that. And they moved their business from Pat Systems to CQG. And, you know, that, you can't have anything make you feel better than that when, you know, people actually pick up their business and move it along with you. So, moving on. Trust at last. I didn't have a real lot here. I had a bunch of screenshots of more about CQG, but Bar Chart, who we give them our data, that's how they're in business. But I didn't want to go into a lot about CQG or anything. So I'm going to end with trust, and I think this is probably one of the better quotes I've found. If people like you, they'll listen to you. But if people trust you, they'll do business with you. And keep that in mind when you go out there and get your careers. And thank you so much for the opportunity.